Today I'm going to talk a little bit about using dinghies as a tender. The main choice when you're choosing a dinghy is between a hard and a soft or inflatable dinghy. Hard dinghies are typically made of plywood or plastic. They're usually easier to row than an inflatable dinghy, so you're not as reliant on an outboard engine. We use a hard dinghy on Kittiwake and we row most of the time unless we're really long way from shore, in which case we'll use the outboard engine. Our dinghy, which is plastic made by Walker Bay, is really hard wearing, so we don't have any worries about landing it on a beach. It's not going to puncture or anything like that. There's a couple of drawbacks to a hard dinghy. Obviously we can't deflate it and put it below, so on longer passages we have to find a place to put it on deck. It's not such a problem on this boat because we've got a big foredeck where we keep it, but if you had a monohull it might be a bit more of an issue. It's also not as stable as an inflatable dinghy, so it's harder for people who aren't used to dinghies. For example, if you have guests, it's a bit more tricky for them. And you can't put as many people in it as you can an inflatable. For example, our dinghy, we can only really take 2 people safely, whereas an inflatable of the same size should be able to take 4. Inflatable dinghies are really designed to be used with an outboard engine, which presents a couple of problems. Firstly, running out of fuel and the maintenance issues of an outboard engine. Sometimes they're quite unreliable, especially the small ones. But also, if you're landing on a beach which has a lot of swell, then being reliant on an engine is not such a good idea, because if the engine gets dunked in the water or the dinghy capsized, then the engine will quite often be completely ruined. But inflatables are much better for snorkeling and diving off, which is a big plus, and also they're much more stable for taking people to and from the shore if you have guests or crew on board. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out the Wetsuit Outlet website for all the sailing gear you need.